Hey guys, welcome to a bonus episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia. In the last episode, we defeated Gaius and Muse and saved the world by dispelling the schism and uniting the two worlds, Olympius and Rize Maxia, all under the idea of spy rights helping everybody. In today's episode, we're going to be taking on a different challenge. Now that we've beaten the game, we gained a couple things. We gained a new arcane art for both Jude and Mila. We gained new costumes, and we gained a new game plus file. And something else. We gained something a little bit more important to what we're going to be doing in today's episode. If you guys remember, we kind of left the side quest on a cliffhanger of sorts. When we returned the Devil's Beast weapons to the guy in Sherrilton Seaport, he mentioned something about the golden key, taking the golden key to Fezabel Marsh, and taking it there, and you will have access to a place called Magnus Zero. Now, when you beat the game, you get the golden key. But right here, this is the second arcane art that I have. It's called Shattering Demon Fist. I'm going to be using this a lot. This is a very powerful arcane art. This is a lot more powerful than Savage Roar. But, yes, we did get, at the very end here, if we come down here to the key items, all the way right here, it says a golden key. It says a brilliant golden key that opens the door to Magnus Zero. Now, this, like I said, this is the only way you can get it is by beating the game. There's no way you can actually access this place before you beat it, so that's why I have to do it after we've already completed the main quest. But you'll understand why when we go visit this place in Magnus Zero. So what we need to do is we need to actually go to Fezabel Marsh. And actually, we need to go to the center of Fezabel Marsh. We need to go to the place where we fought Gaius at the first time, when we first fought him aeons ago, it seemed like. But, anyways, yeah, we defeated the game. I'm at level 70. Honestly, you should be at this level too when you come here. This place that we're going to is not for the faint of heart. I'm going to tell you right now. But, of course, you would have to have beaten all the Devil's Beast in order to gain access to this place. So, yeah, this place is not a very nice place to be. We need to go to the center of Fezabel Marsh, and you can kind of see the trench hole that Jude fell down in the cutscene earlier. But if we come all the way down here to the west region, you will see a green portal that will appear in the middle where it wasn't there before. Well, now that we have a golden key, we can actually go through this portal. Is that a hole in space? Do you think this is it? Yes, it appears this is the entrance to Magnus Zero, the old storyteller told us about. I guess a portal opened because we have the golden key? Storyteller said Magnus Zero was a world where he who awaits, and that if we went there, we discover the true power of the Devil's Arms. I'm kind of scared. Yeah, I've got a real bad feeling about this. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread, as they say. Then I guess I'm in. Heh, our foolishness hasn't brought us down yet. So now we can actually go and jump into this portal right here. This is the optional dungeon of Tales of Xillia. This is probably the hardest dungeon in the entire game. But let's go inside Magnus Zero. What are we doing back in Finmont? We're not. This isn't our world at all. It is a world created by your own minds, a tour of the battlefields in which you tasted triumph. Identify yourself. Welcome, great warriors, to Magnus Zero, the world of carnage. Now come, ascend the mountain of corpses, ford the river of blood, blaze a path to my side. With blade and fang, tear the flesh of your foes to ribbons. Now the blood fall like the autumn rain. I'm guessing that was our man? It seems so. I cannot yet tell if he's a fool, but I'm quite confident he's no angel. So, we're in Magnus Zero. The gimmick of this dungeon is it's a labyrinth.
My stomach seems to be empty again.
And as you guys can see, it's kind of monochrome a little bit. It's like a different color, and that's not my video doing that. That's the dungeon. The dungeon kind of gives off this monochrome like tint to the picture. I don't know why, but these enemies right here, I mentioned this a long time ago. These enemies, the flower enemies, are probably the worst enemies in the entire game, and I hate these things with a burning passion. These enemies, when they do their little area of effect spell, they cause random status ailments. Most of the time, it's petrification. And I told you guys, petrification stinks. It's almost equivalent as dying. And especially if you're linked, if you're petrified with a linked partner, they become petrified too.
Anything for a lovely lady such as yourself.
I'll overcome anything.
I don't know if we've ever seen that one, but those enemies really stink. But there's also crab-like enemies here, and there's also these Azure Hawks right here. Azure Hawks are, another reskin. These enemies are really freaking tough. I'm gonna tell you right now, these enemies really, really suck. This is why I really suggested you be like low 70s when you come here. The thing is about Magnus Zero is this is the greatest challenge in the entire game. This is probably the hardest, home of the hardest enemies and home to the hardest boss. That guy that we just saw right there, he is an optional boss. He is going to be, awaiting us at the very end of it. He wants to kind of test us by allowing us to go through practically a carbon copy of our memories of these areas where we actually fought a lot. So we started in Fenmont because we fought a couple of battles in Fenmont, and then, there's also a lot of other area places. This labyrinth of sorts with the Magnus Zero, what you have to do is in the area itself, you have to go to these green portals, and you can go in any one you like. It doesn't matter. What it does is it whisks you away to a different area that we've been to recently. So it's pretty lengthy in a way.
Let's do this.
It's a labyrinth anyways. Now we got more wind spirits right here, so that's a new enemy right here. They're just pretty much a standard common enemy and whatnot. You probably see me using Shattering Demon's Fist. It's a very powerful move. What Jude does is he uses his Demon Fist on the ground, and it causes a mini earthquake around him. It's very, very powerful. I should say, though, the stuff that you get in Magnus Zero is probably the best material in the game. So if you're trying to grind for, your shop levels and stuff like that, this is the perfect place to do so. You can also get a bunch of awesome items like blue sages. They're plentiful in these treasure chests and whatnot. This is probably your best grinding spot to try to get all your shop levels to max level real quick. And also, this is a good place to grind up your characters to max level. That's another title that you can get. If you get everybody to max level, max level is level 99, you will gain all the abilities and you will get a title. And it's a good way to get build up gold too, so there's that. I will say this. This is a very, very, very long dungeon. We're not going to be finishing this in this episode. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that much. But we go inside the first green portal that we saw, And right here, I kind of wanted to show this.
All in a day's work.
Good job, Rowan. Here's your reward.
I never saw that skit. I wanted to show you guys that one. That one's kind of funny. Rowan's like, oh, I'm so beat. So Elise is giving him a back rub. It's kind of funny. But, anyways, now we're in Labari Hollow right now. That green portal that we went through in Finmont, now it just whisked us here into Labari Hollow. This is completely, not completely random. Every portal leads you to a different place. And they're all set portals, too. So that portal that I jumped to will always bring us here. So if you come back to this place, you can do that. That's actually one thing I kind of wanted to talk about. I'm going to tell you one little hint right here, and this is the Mon Highlands right now. Actually, I think this is a the area where Mila was right outside the lava tube. I can never remember the place, but. Anyways, if you don't feel confident, because they give you plenty of save points before the boss, if you don't feel confident fighting this boss, because I'm going to tell you right now, he is really high level, and honestly, he is the hardest challenge in this game. That is the toughest challenge in this game. If you're not confident, one place, we'll see it when we come to it, but there is places where you can leave Magnus Zero if you're not ready yet. So you can come back and start over again if you want to, and kind of use this place as a grinding ground in a sense. That's kind of what I do. But that's kind of what I did in this episode, actually. I kind of tried to take him on. It's like, nope, I'm too low level. And as you guys can see, I'm kind of getting my butt kicked. Yeah, Jude already kind of made a mention saying, we need to heal you, Mila. That's because Mila almost kicked the can. But anyways, I'm gathering materials as much as I can because I'm going to try to get to the max level on the shop. So I want to show you what's in the max level of the shops. So that way we can have the best gear to fight the optional boss here. But here's more stuff here, and like I said before, I would honestly suggest you just, instead of booking it toward the portal that you see, I would go around scavenging hunt, because all of these materials that you see, these are probably the highest leveled materials in the game. You can't find better stuff here than here, you know. And now we're in the Azul castle. So this is the Castle Gaius right here. And we got blue lavender right here. These enemies are in the monster book, so it'd be best to go ahead and fight these monsters at least one time, so that way you can fill out that. And that's pretty much it. Like, this dungeon is just a really lengthy dungeon. And when I first came here, it took me a grand total of, like, I want to say it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go through this dungeon. And I wasn't really ready for that, because the longest dungeon in the game prior to this was, in my opinion, the ESS Zenithra, and that took about 40 minutes to go through. This one takes a lot longer than the Zenithra, and it's not because the Zenithra only took so long because it was, you know, you had to go around and, you know, zigzaggedy stuff. But now we're in the Cherylton Deepwood, and we get a strength ring right here. Now, this area right here is the start of what I wanted to talk about. They'll give you kind of a rest stop here. And when I say rest stop, it's a really good rest stop. It kind of gives you everything you need in order to prepare for the next leg of the labyrinth here. But if you come up here onto this wall here and you start climbing this ivy, any day now, I'll be climbing up all the way to the top. There are three things here. There is a save point, which you desperately need to save. There is a wall, like circle of light right here. This is your shops. You have access to your shops right now. But like, as you guys can see, I'm kind of using this material, and I'm using all the material that I can to level up all my stuff. I'm very close to that. I'm level 97 on weapons. But in this light right here, it says, light seeps from the rift in space. You may use this to return to your world. However, once you do, you may not be able to return to this spot. So, you can actually just leave if you want to. I would honestly suggest you using that only if you're not confident in taking on the rest of the dungeon. And you can always come back. This place does not go away, and I love the fact that it doesn't go away. This isn't a one and done thing. But now we're in, I want to say outside Kujara Sea Falls. This area kind of reminds me of like outside Mila's Shrine and stuff like that. Where Mila's Shrine led off to. No, this is like right outside. This is like Xillia Heights. I can't even remember this stuff. I can't remember most of these like road areas right here. I hate these freaking flower enemies, but the only reason why I did this was I wanted to show off these enemies right here, the horses. These are brand new enemies that I wanted to show off. The flower guys, like I said before, they will cause random status ailments, varying from poison to darkness to making you really slow, and then to petrifying you. Petrifying seems to happen quite a lot, though. Seems like that status ailment has a higher chance of that happening. Now, I wanted to mention this for the longest time and never really got a chance to. Just, you know how we have Shattering Demon's Fist right now? And I said that was an arcane art. And if you guys remember from the battle mechanics of the game, when you use an arcane art while you're in overlimit and you hold X, you use a mystic art, right? Well, if you use Shattering Demon's Fist while in overlimit and you hold X, you don't do your regular mystic art. You do a brand new one. Yes, this is probably the first time in Tales history of this particular mystic art happening. And I kind of want to show that. I do show it off, but it's a brand new mystic art. You've gained a brand new mystic art through getting Shattering Demon Fist, or the other one with Mila if you're playing Mila. So this is Jude and Mila are the only characters that have 2 mystic arts. Everyone else only has 1. So I just wanted to you guys keep that in mind for later. But yes, you do have access to a brand new mystic art. Now we're in Felghana Mine. So now we have to navigate through this monstrosity of an area. Felghana Mine, I really don't care for this dungeon too much. I think I mentioned that when we first came in here. The Felghana Mine just felt too labyrinthly. This is kind of labyrinth enough, if you know what I mean. But like going through these tunnels right here, trying to find areas that you can go. Now I'm kind of showing you this enemy. These are, you know, lizard guys with gigantic swords. These guys suck. Their sword attacks really hurt. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just, you know, spam Shattering Demon Fist, because that's actually kind of a really strong move. As you guys can see, it does a lot of damage. And not only that, it causes everybody to fly in the air, and you can just, you know, wail on them and just defeat them. Well, that's pretty much it. You will gain a lot of levels in this place. Like I said before, this place is chock full with enemies. You can kind of see that for yourself. I'm trying to get away from that guy. But, yeah, this place is chock full with enemies. And, honestly, this is probably one of the best grinding spots here. By the time you leave, you should be in your mid-70s. You should be in your mid-70s anyways by the time you get to the end of the dungeon. But alas, I'm trying to find another green portal because I kind of want to see if there's any more. I kind of want to look for materials because we're so close to leveling up, getting a weapon shop to the max level. But inside this treasure chest right here is 10,000 gold. You get a lot of money too. I noticed that a lot in this dungeon. And, you know, sacks are normal here. There's not too much to say after this point, though, like, because, well, this is just a rather lengthy dungeon, and this is all areas that we've been to. I do like the fact that they kind of changed it up a little bit in the sense of, you probably noticed, you probably noticed when you first watched the video, is like, Whoa, you're monochrome. Why are you monochrome? That's not me, that's the game. Trust me, I would not let my video get monochrome like that. It's a weird tint that's only in this dungeon. There's just this weird tint of chrome going around on the video. It's like very brief. You can barely see it, but you notice that there's a difference in color right here. Becomes like a, you know, an everyday first-person shooter. Shots fired. Quite literally. Anyways, let's go through here and, you know, just try to find an area out of Falgana Mine, because I don't like this segment here. There's also other enemies here. There's also, like, I think there's an undead. No, there's not an undead creature here. That was the thing of the first time you went through Falgana. But now we're in the Flood Meadows. You remember Zagat Flood Meadows? That's where we fought one of our Devil's Beasts. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is the reason why we're here, besides the fact that we're finishing up a side quest and fighting the optional dungeon, is we're finding the true power to our Devil's Beast weapons. You know, those things that we got from beating the Devil's Beast, and we're just like, these don't look that powerful. Well, they aren't very that powerful. It kind of makes you sad on a little bit on the inside. It's just like, I beat these really hard bosses. These bosses that were, you know, antagonizing me the whole entire journey because they were like level 60 and I was level 10 when I found it. But their weapons that you get from them kind of suck compared to the ones I got. Well, that's what this place is for. This place just is the reason why your devil's weapons, devil's arms, are going to be a lot better, because they actually unlock a true purpose. What it happens is they gain more strength based on, you know, a lot of other things. I'm not going to go into detail about it yet because we haven't unlocked it yet. But that's why we're here, is we're trying to power up our devil's arms, because they're kind of wimpy at the moment, and we don't know why they're wimpy. It's like, kind of reminds me of, if any of you guys ever played Sword of Mana on the GBA, it's kind of the second Densetsu 1 for all you Mana people from Square Enix days. But that kind of reminds me of the situation, and it's not really, that one was kind of plot relevant, but you remember, you get the Sword of Mana, it's just like, oh, I got the sword that the game's named after. And then you look at it, and it's just like, oh, it's just a rusty sword. What's the big deal? Why am I getting a rusty sword? And then when you get to a certain boss and a certain thing happens, it's just like, oh, I gained the true power of the secret of the Mana sword. And then you get an all-powerful sword and everything. It's just like, it's kind of like that. But we're actually working towards it instead of plot doing it for us. But but we're in Sherrilton. I had to actually think whenever we came here the first time. When I first came here, I was like, wait, so these are all areas that we actually, you know, fought in? Like, fought people and just didn't kill people? I was like, where did we kill people in Sherrilton? I was like, oh, wait a second, we killed the Terabrontic. But we're here at the top of Heliaborg, and this is kind of a short area, but it's also another pit stop. You probably noticed I was rambling on and I didn't mention there was pit stops right here. There's another pit stop right here where you can, you know, use your weapon shop and whatnot. But we are level 97 at the weapon shop. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, give him all the stuff I need in order to level up to level 100, which is kind of, I'm almost there. I'm level 99 right now. I'm just giving them all the stuff that I can right now. I know monsters is kind of ×3 right now, but what can I'm not gonna be using this, but other than, you know, upgrade my shop. So I don't really keep on the materials very much, but I'm so close to level 99. But we've gained Sun Falcon and all this other stuff, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so close. What I do right now is just like, I'm this close, I'm just gonna give you gold. So I just give him money, and I leveled up to level 100. When you get it to level 100 at the weapon shop, you get the best weapons in the entire game. that you can have for the characters besides the Devil's Arms when you unlock the true power. Now that when you get them to the max level, they will not go any higher. We have the Fist of Legend for Jude, the Adolan the Immortal for Mila, we got Adonhala the Condemned for Alvin, the Stinger for Elise, the Soaring Eagle, the Patriot for Rowan, and we have the Solrina Rod of the Heavens for Leia. So we have the best weapons in the game prior to the Devil's Arms. And we have no use for these old weapons. We don't need these anymore. We're going to go ahead and get rid of them. But you get a title for getting your weapon shot up to the max level and stuff like that. But I kind of want to show it off right now. I did keep the Princess Premier for Elise. And I actually, it's kind of funny. The Princess Premier is actually stronger than the strongest weapon. I shouldn't have said that. The Princess Premier, the item that we got from the Pretty in Pink side quest, is actually stronger than the strongest item you can get in the item shop, or the weapon shop. So that's actually kind of good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We gotten all the strongest items in the game, or strongest weapons in the game. We haven't gotten the strongest best gear yet. We haven't gotten the best armor or anything. But we're working towards that. I honestly would suggest you guys get the best stuff you can before you can get further on into this dungeon. But yeah, we have the Fist of Legend, which is a really good knuckle to have, so it's really nice to have that. But what I normally do whenever I'm playing this game and I get to this part with Magnus Zero is I always do about 2 runs of it before I go and actually take on the side quest itself. By beating the boss. Because I want to get as much material as I can, I always make a couple runs through here in order to get my weapon shop and armor shop at least to get to level 100. Having your item shop at level 100 isn't really important. I mean, it is important, but it isn't. Having your item shop to level 100, what it does is, all it does is it makes you be able to buy Omega Elixirs on the fly. That's about as grand as it's gonna get. And I mean, Omega Elixirs are really nice because in some instances people think that, I know that there'd be some people think that it's kind of a broken item to have in your inventory because it completely heals your party, even if they're knocked out in situations like that. But honestly, if it wasn't for those Omega Elixirs, I couldn't beat most of these bosses. I couldn't beat some of these bosses. But anyways, we're going to, we fought a harpy right there. That enemy right there is a harpy, and I completely forgot to fight that thing and show it off in the battle. But it's nothing more than a harpy right there, so you kind of want to take that on before, if you're looking for the monster in your monster book. I forgot to actually put that in the video, but it doesn't matter. But anyways, yeah, I always kind of grind my shops out a little bit so that way I can have the best gear when I'm taking on this boss. So by the time, in my honest opinion, by the time you are at the end of Magnus Zero about ready to fight this boss, you should have at least your weapons and your armor shop at max level. They should be at level 100, giving you the best items that you can get. For accessories, I would honestly suggest get into to the level where they start giving you Persian boots. Persian boots are the best accessories in the accessory shop that they can give you. That's based on defense and art defense and physical defense and stuff like that. But we're here at Mila Shrine. Kind of a rather very short area here. You got 2 portals on both ends here, and you got treasure chests here that have, you know, material items and stuff like that. And you got materials on the house and everything. It's a very enclosed area right here. Mystic Symbol right there, what that item does is it reduces casting time of your arts. Like if you're playing as Rowan and you cast like Fireball for instance, it'll cut the time out by 30%. So 30%, it'll be reduced by 30%, I should say. But we're here at Tibolian High Road, which is the area in Olympias. Like I said before, you they kind of just throw you in a bunch of these high roads that you've been to in this game before, and they kind of just like, oh, they have really stronger enemies on it, and it's a labyrinth. You have to go jump through portals. It's not really, it's its own dungeon. I wouldn't really call this is more of a labyrinth than it is a dungeon. Because you literally are just, you know, randomly guessing portals and stuff like that, and getting material items and stuff like that. I don't know, Magnus Zero is such a weird dungeon, I wouldn't really even consider it a dungeon. It's more or less, it's just a gauntlet and a labyrinth and something whatnot. It kind of reminds me of the Great Maze from Subspace Emissary and Super Smash Bros. That's kind of like the feeling I get, because I've been here for a while. That's actually one thing that when I was playing Brawl, that I always get annoying. It's like, oh, the Great Maze always took like 3 hours to get through, and it was always annoying. Yeah, it was. It really is. But, you know, play Smash Brothers to beat up people, but this one's kind of a lengthy dungeon, because it's just, you literally are just jumping from portal to portal, and you just try to find the end of it. But, and that's the thing, is they throw so many like halfway points, you don't know what the end is. You can't tell what the end is. It's just it's right after one of the halfway points. How would you know that? It's just like, they look like all the other ones. But right here, this dragon's probably the best designed looking enemy I think I've seen in the game. It looks like an angelic angel dragon. It looks really cool, and I like this dragon. It's really strong though, so be careful of that when you fight it. It's just, I always love that design of the design of that dragon. It's really cool. And then you can just see it just walking around here. It's like, yeah, I'm in Hamil. I'm just gonna walk around. You know, be awesome looking and all that other stuff. Do you remember whenever you first played Pokemon and you saw a Dragonite, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want that Pokemon. It's a really awesome dragon. Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I got when I first saw it. I was like, holy crap, that dragon looks awesome. But, anyways, we're in Hamil. The thing is, with the Hamil area, you don't find the portals at the end where you know, normally just walk up. The portals are up here in the treehouse. They're up here on the overhead of the trees right here. That's where the portals are at. It's kind of weird. But it will take you here. You would think that this would be the area where you kind of need to save because the boss is up next. No, this isn't. This was kind of a stopping point for me because I was recording for 40 minutes at this point, and I kind of wanted to take a break from my capture card and whatnot. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and increase our armor shop because our armor shop's at level 74 at this point. The fish are kind of giving us double points for everything. Dragon Ash is probably going to be the best item for the shops because they give a lot of points, and Godwood does too. It's really, really nice, and it's really plentiful here. That's the one thing I can't get enough of, is the fact that, well, Magnus Zero has really good weapon, really good enemies to grind off to get to max level, as well as the best material you can get, and you don't have to trade. You don't have to trade the feather trader or anything, because all the items that he gives you, pretty much you can find here better. You know what I mean? He kind of gives you the best materials to upgrade your shops, but honestly, I find it more efficient to just grind for stuff here. That's just me though. But anyways, we have gotten the armor shop to the financier level. That's when they get to level 80, you get that title. You get a title for every 20 levels you get the shop to. But this is another halfway point. This is kind of one you would think that this would be the end of it because, well, it's at the top of the Neokara Holomont, and Neokara Holomont was kind of like a pivotal point in the plot. So it's just like, well, I could save here. I'm just going to do that. Honestly, first time playing, honestly, I would suggest you save at every save album you find, because you don't know when the end of this dungeon is. They don't flat out give you any indication when the end of the dungeon is. It's just like if you've been going on for like, I want to say about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and you see the next save point, I would honestly suggest saving at that point and just like saying, oh, I must be at the end of it. Because they really don't give you any indication whatsoever that you're almost done. Like, I'm still not almost done. You guys probably see the timestamp on this video. We're not even close to being there. So, it's going to take a while. But here, this is the area, the high road that's outside of Finmont. I can't remember the name of it, but I was trying to actually fight those things at the same time. It didn't really work out as well as I want to. Encounter links don't give you both the enemies that you encounter linked. They just give you more enemies with the first pack that ran into you. So it's kind of a letdown. I don't like it as much. We're fighting this thing because this is a new monster. That is a Machina type crab enemy. These guys are only in Magnus Zero. We actually saw their cousins on that one ship in the Olympus ship that we hijacked earlier in the Let's Play. But we're going to go ahead and beat the crap out of it. I don't know why I didn't use the Shattering Demon Fist. I kind of wanted to show that missing card, but it was like, I guess I was going to be really feeling Final Fury, so let's go ahead and kill these guys real quick. But yeah, that's pretty much all the enemies in Magnus Zero. I don't think there's a new enemy right now. Well, you got the flower guys that I hate. You got the Azure Hawk. You've got the Harpy. You've got the Wind Spirit. You got the cool-looking dragon. You got regular crabs. And you got the horses. The horses with a kind of a nose horn. I think, and then you got those crab machines and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty much all the enemies here. You don't fight Makoras here, unfortunately. So,
Please forgive us
For defeating you.
and taking your items. That's just spoils of war.
that was literally one of my favorite end skits. Please forgive us. We're defeating you and taking your items. They broke the fourth wall with the fact that this is an RPG. They broke the fourth wall. Oh boy. But we're in Kajara Sea Falls. This kind of area right here is we're getting close to the end of this, but we still got a ways to go. So just be mindful of that. Don't jump in the first green portal that you see. Always look around, because it's always good to find treasure chests like this. And if you guys could see, the treasure chests are different shapes than, treasure chests. Kind of look like, diamonds and stuff like that. You probably saw that when we were in Temporal Crossroads and they were like that. But yeah, this is a pretty meaty dungeon. And you get this for just, beating all the devil's beasts and stuff like that. You can't go down that way. There's nothing down there. I always thought that there was a portal there, but I was like, nope, there's not a portal. And I actually got the first advantage strike on that guy. And I don't understand how I did, but whatevs. Now let's go ahead and jump into this green portal right here. And this will take us to, I think this is the area where Jude and Muse went through after the whole battle with Fezabel happened. I think like just earlier in the Let's Play. And I think this actually might be Mon Islands, if I'm not too sure. I can't always tell, because the three snow areas that you were in, they kind of look identical. The only way I could tell the first one was because I could see the lava tubes in the background. And I was like, oh, this is the area that Mila was in. I can never remember the name of these stupid high roads, because it's just like, there's so many and you can't remember all of them. They all have weird names and everything. I've always had, that's one thing no, this is Mon Highlands. I just now realized that, because I see Silent Cave down there. Silent Cave is down there, so this is the Mon Highlands. But I've always had trouble, pronunciating stuff. Like, I always had big problems pronunciating big words and weird names and stuff like that, because I kind of have a little bit of a speech impediment problem in some sense. You guys probably understand. fans of mine know that I kind of have a way of not making sense when I talk sometimes, and I try to make it, you know, as insightful as I can. But, I've always had trouble talking, I've always had trouble speaking and stuff like that, and pronunciating things. So if I, you know, do upset anybody by the way I pronunciate some things, then I'm sorry. But, yeah, I've always had trouble doing that when I was a kid. I had a bunch of speech problems and stuff like that. But, one thing I would always do when I was a kid was, you guys probably saw my Golden Sun Let's Play. I always called Psi Energy Fizz Energy, because I was always taught that PH makes a F sound, so I would always call it Fizz Energy, because I thought it was, you know, making the F sound because of PH. Then I realized that, no, the P is just, PH is just silent. It's just Psi Energy. It's like, okay, that makes sense. It's kind of weird. I had a lot of, I always called Ginny DeGin because the D was there. I would never make any consonants silent when I was talking. It's kind of funny in that sense. But now we're finally leaving Mon Highlands. We actually are in Orda Palace right now. This is the Noctigal's throne room. So this is kind of a short area. It's got, you know, portals right there, 2 portals right there. You can just jump in either or. But we're kind of getting towards the end of this, so be mindful of that. This is kind of the point where we're getting ever so close to our goal here, so we're gonna go ahead and just jump in. I think the next one is the area I'm thinking of. Yep. When you get to Burmia Gorge, this is the last room. I don't know why. When you take the path that I do, I don't know, it always changes depending on what portal you jump in. But I got an Omega Elixir. There's a reason why they give you an Omega Elixir here. These bosses absolutely suck. I think it's the same for every pathway, but if you get to Burmia Gorge, this is the last room before you fight the boss. So you kind of want to be careful here. I don't know why they end on Burmia Gorge, but they do. So it kind of would make sense if they would, you know, give the rest stop at Nia Karahalmon, because that was a big plot point in the game, but it's whatever. So I think I said that before, but anyways, we got the petty pilfer. I think that was for using Leia's steal ability a certain number of times. If you knock down an enemy while you're linked with Leia, she'll go and steal an item from everybody, and I did that every now and then. This is kind of the point where if you're going in Magnus Zero, you kind of want to just grind out for titles, because while I'm doing this bonus episode right now showing what Magnus Zero is, the next episode is going to be, you know, very short in compared to this. But the next episode is pretty much New Game Plus and what it is, and your titles you've been earning across your journey have something to do with New Game Plus, so it's best to get these titles. I can't really stress this enough. I'm actually trying my best to get as many titles as I can on a playthrough to kind of give an example. So it was nice to see a title getting a title every now and then. You can always check your titles by going down to, I think it was Library, and looking at, you know, titles in the submenu, but be mindful of that. Titles are very important for what we're going to be doing in the 3rd bonus video. I have 3 bonus videos planned up for ahead. But now this is the rest stop. This is the point of no return, guys. This, if you go any further, this is where you fight the boss. You don't want to do that just yet. At this point, you kind of want to dump all your materials that you gained at this point. Dump it in whatever you have to make right now. I'm going ahead and dumping it all in armor, because that's all I'm missing before I get, you know, the best armor in the game that I can. So we're at level 85 at the current moment, and level's 86. We're getting so close here. And then you see, look, Dragon Ash gives a lot there. Now we're at level 88. This is the point where you have to really think about it. I know I talked about how important it is to be prepared for this, because I'll put it this way, this boss fight that we're about ready to go and see, it's not a fun fight, guys. It's actually really freaking challenging. And Gaius and Muse were hard enough when we fought them at the end of the game. This guy makes them look like little wimps. And you know how strong Gaius and Muse were. They were really hard. They're the final boss for a reason. This guy kind of wipes the floor with them. He's really that strong. So it's best to be over-prepared than under-prepared for this. At this point in the game, rather at this point in the dungeon, you have a choice. You can go ahead and fight him, or you can leave. What I would honestly suggest is you be at least level 75 or higher before you take on this boss. Because he's gonna kick your butt, and you're not gonna like it. So as of right now, I'm not level 75. So in between episodes from now and the next episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia, I'm gonna be grinding. Grinding by going through Magnus Zero yet again, while grinding out my characters and grinding out to get the materials for my shop. That's what I would honestly suggest you guys do. Do not just go ahead and leave and then come back and do it all over again. If you have the time to, anyways. But that's what we're going to be doing in the next episode. So, in the next episode of Let's Play Tales of Xillia, we are going to be fighting the hardest boss in the game. So with that, I will see you guys in the next bonus episode. Take care, everybody.